The mapping sequence, Ed. That's from Keanu Reeves' Replicas. Hello, everybody. Welcome to Storytime, another special Storytime because today's Storytime is exclusively for all of my patrons on Patreon. It's another Patreon exclusive Storytime. Yay! Say yay, Eleanor.
Yay!
Yay! Yes, today's Storytime is a Patreon exclusive one, and I just want to say thank you to all of my Patreons. Thank you for supporting me. Every Patreon that I get makes me feel like I'm... Why does the coffee machine always go off during story times? That is so weird. I was in the middle of some big Patreon speech. I understand. You get it. You get what I was going to say. Anyway, today's a special story time. I'm very excited about this. Today, I will be reading one of my favorite horrible books of all time. Because it's just horrible. It's a bad book. Yuck. Say yuck. It's a very special bad book. And it's right here. It's called Love You Forever. People love this book. And I have no idea why. Because it's a weird book. This is a weird book, man. This is a weird book. Let me explain it to you. Everybody who's out there right now watching this video, raise your hand if you have grandparents. Now keep your hand up if your grandparents break into your parents' house at night and hold your dad while he sleeps. The author, Robert Munsch, he's Canadian. Maybe it's a Canadian thing. You want me to read this?
Yeah.
Okay, but it's a weird book. Letting you know right now, it's a weird book, okay? I won't be reading it as much as I will be sort of riffing on it. Love You Forever by Robert Munsch. A mother, that's the mother right there. She shops at the all-new House on the Prairie Emporium store off of Route 9, right by the freeway. A mother held her new baby. She held... where'd this baby come from? It's so new. And very slowly rocked the baby back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. Eleanor, let's rock our baby, okay? Rock the baby. Rock her gently. Be sure not to rock her too hard. That's too hard! Oh no, you're rocking the baby too hard! You gotta be careful not to rock the baby too hard, okay? Back and forth, back and forth. Back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. Oh no, that was too hard. I'm sorry, baby. And while she held him, she sang this song. I love you forever. I'll like you for always. Hey! I'll love you forever. I'll like you for always. As long as I'm living, my baby you'll be. Now, a couple of things. Number one, I really like her braiding work there. That's very nice. I appreciate that. Secondly, what's up with that cat? That cat is less of a cat and more of like someone ran over a football. That's football cat, is what that is. See the football cat there? It's a weird cat. Someone ran over your kitten, ma'am. The baby grew. He grew and he grew and he grew. He grew until he was 50 feet tall. And he was destroying Tokyo with his radioactive breath. Stomp, 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 destroying Tokyo. He grew until he was 2 years old. Oh, look at that. I have that same toothpaste. The stripey kind. Oh, no. Football cat has fainted. Oh, no. That might just be a raccoon, now that I'm looking at it here. He grew until he was 2 years old, and he ran all around the house. At least he's getting some exercise. He pulled all the books off the shelves. I don't believe that. This girl right here is 2 years old. We got some books up there. She can't reach those. How is this 2-year-old pulling all the books off the shelf? He pulled all the food out of the refrigerator. Again, I doubt that. Again, I doubt that. Good luck grabbing the 30 case of beer out of the fridge. Root beer. Because this is a story time, and we're keeping it clean. And he took his mother's watch and flushed it down the toilet. Sometimes his mother would say, "This kid is driving me crazy! Crazy!" But at nighttime, when that 2-year-old was quiet, she's got some creepy eyes there, like this. You know? But at nighttime, when that 2-year-old was quiet, she opened the door to his room. She crawled across the floor, apparently, army style. Alpha Tango Tea Kettle Barbecue. We've got Charlie in the trees. And looked up over the side of his bed. And if he really was asleep, she picked him up. Ha-ha! Oppa! And rocked him back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. While she rocked him, she sang this song. Welcome to the jungle! I heard a baby wants to rock! Cats kind of rolled together. Now it's a snake. The cat kind of changes species with each page, which is interesting. Now it's a boa constrictor. He'll get you. The cobra. Cobra strikes. How should we sing this song? This time let's do country. I'll love you forever. Flag. I'll like you for always. America. As long as I'm living. Bible. My baby, your baby. Freedom. The little boy grew. He grew and he grew and he grew. He grew until he was 9 years old. And you want to know how old this book is? He's spilling sody pop as he listens to his Walkman. I got another question for you. He's leaving footprints while wearing shoes. I'm a little bit confused about that. Those are obviously like toe marks. And he's wearing shoes, so I'm a bit confused about that. Also, I don't think cats get haircuts, but this cat needs it. Suddenly this cat is 1,000,000 times poofier than it was in any of the other pages. That's a serious puffball cat. Now it's a pufferfish cat. It's a blowfish cat. This cat just keeps changing its appearances. Here's another amazing part. Look, the boy's mutant powers have arrived, and now he can make things float in the air using his mutant power. Pretty soon he'll be going to Professor Xavier's School for Gifted Youngsters. He grew until he was 9 years old, and he never wanted to come in for dinner. He never wanted to take a bath. And when Grandma visited, he always said bad words. Bad words are bad. Sometimes his mother wanted to sell him to the zoo, but I can tell you from experience that if you bring your 5 kids to the zoo with the expressed intent on selling them to one of the zoo owners, they will get angry at you. That is something I have proven. But at nighttime, when he was asleep, the mother quietly opened the door to his room, crawled across the floor, army style, hop, 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 hop to, hop to, hop to, and looked over the side of the bed. That's my award-winning smile. If he really was asleep, she picked up that 9-year-old boy and then just sort of spinned him around like a basketball, because that's just how she be. She picked up that 9-year-old boy and rocked him back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. Be careful, you don't want to... Oops, I'll drop my baby. And while she rocked him, she sang. How should I sing the song this time? Jazzy. Like, what's his name? Seth MacFarlane, only less pretentious. Michael Bublé. I'll love you forever. Yeah. You hep cats and kittens. out there in Jazzland, yeah. I'll like you for always, baby. I'm not... That's better. As long as I'm living, doll, my baby you will be. Oh, yeah. Jelly roll. The cat has fainted. The cat can't believe it. The cat seems to have gotten pointier. This is where it gets really confusing, okay? So stick with me. The boy grew. He grew and he grew and he grew. He grew until he was a teenager. First off, he looks like he has an Elvis obsession, which is weird for a teenager, number one. Number two, as you can see, he buys Hawaiian shirts from Walgreens, 2 for $10. So he's saving money. Good for him. There's also a record player here. Do you know what record players are, boys and girls? It's what people used to listen to before cassette tapes came along. You know what cassette tapes are, boys and girls? It's what people used to listen to before CDs came along. You know what CDs are, boys and girls? What people used to listen to before MP3s came along. You know what MP3s are, boys and girls? It's what people used to listen to before iTunes came along. You know what iTunes is, boys and girls? It's what people used to listen to before everybody started streaming stuff. You know what streaming music is, boys and girls? It's what people used to do before Jeff Bezos and Elon Musk started injecting us with songs directly into our brains. Boot the mapping sequence, Ed. That's from Keanu Reeves' Replicas. The thing I especially love is right here. They're eating pizza, but with no cheese. Maybe they're lactose intolerant. Yeah, could I get a pizza, but just no cheese, just a crust, sauce, and some pepperonis? Pepperonis floating in the sauce. That is definitely a Panic at the Disco song. Pepperonis floating in the sauce. Pepperonis floating in the sauce. He had strange friends and he wore strange clothes and he listened to strange music. Sometimes his mother felt like she was in a zoo. Also because the teenager flings his poop. It's starting to get a little bit weird now. But at nighttime, when that teenager was asleep, the mother opened the door to his room. Hey, teenage son, it's your mom coming to hold you. Crawled across the floor. Hup, 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 hup. Meanwhile, he's just, you don't need to do that, Mom. I'm 16. Hup, 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 hup. And looked up over the side of the bed. Oh, there you are. And if he really was asleep, he picked up that great big boy. Now, here's a bit of the backstory for you. It doesn't happen in the book, but I'm just assuming that this happens off book. But at some point in time between this kid being 9 and this kid being a teenager, the mom was obviously bitten by a radioactive spider, which gave her superpowers, such as the ability for like a 40-year-old mom to easily pick up a 16-year-old boy and rock him to bed. Also, I dare any of you who have teenagers to just sneak into their room at like midnight and try and rock them to sleep. I'm sure that'll work fine. I've got some 17-year-olds. I'm not doing that. I'm gonna be killed. Look at this cat. That cat's face is so sharp. This cat doubles as a number 2 pencil. Oh, I know what the cat's name is. Shank. Because you can stab someone with the cat. It's crazy. If he really was asleep, she picked up that great big boy. And rocked him. back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. And while she rocked him, she sang. Now, how should I sing the song this time? No, I'm not going to do that. That felt embarrassing. But I am Mr. Steve. I'll love you forever. No, I'm not doing it. I'll love you forever. I'll like you for always. As long as I'm living, my baby you'll be. This is a remarkably clean room for a teenage boy. I'm suddenly doubting the validity of this whole book. At this point in the story time, we are joined by my daughter, Bella. Now, Bella, at this point in this bizarre Canadian story, the boy in the book is a teenager, and yet the mom is sneaking into the room at night, picking him up and rocking him to sleep. So I'm assuming that it's going to be okay for me to come into your room at like 1 a.m., pick you up, and rock you to sleep. Am I correct in that?
No.
That's a 100% yes.
No.
That is the no. I know what you're saying. You're saying, no, that's not okay. That's perfect. And I am absolutely fine with you coming into my room at 1 a.m., crawling across the floor, looking up over your bed, picking you up and rocking you to sleep while singing a cheesy song.
No.
No, it's happening. It's happening to all you teens, because it's apparently okay in this book, so I'm assuming it's okay in real life, so that's what's happening. That teenager grew. He grew and he grew and he grew. He grew until he was a grown-up man. I am a grown-up man now. I eat sausages. And I care about my car, and I pay taxes like a man. I smell like a man. Smell my manly musk. It is the musk of a man. He left home and got a house across town. Now, across town. Now, where we live here in the middle of nowhere, Oklahoma, across town, that's like 20 minutes, 25 minutes. If we're talking like Phoenix, that's like an hour and a half. We're talking LA, that's like a 2-hour drive. Also, if you look real closely here, Football Cat had football kittens. Okay, now this is where it gets weird, okay? This is where it gets weird. But sometimes, on dark nights, already this is weird. It's like, oh, she doesn't do it on really bright, sunny nights. She waits until dark nights. This night is too bright for me. Better do it 2 days from now, and the dark is supposed to be extra darky dark. But sometimes on dark nights, the mother got into her car and drove across town. She's driving across town on a dark night. This is already pretty weird. If all the lights in her son's house were out, so she's waiting. She's doing a stakeout. She's waiting across the street late at night. My son seems to still be awake. I better wait a few hours. Ooh, that's a good cup of joe. Oh, he's brushing his teeth. We are now being joined by another one of my teenagers, Amber. Hi, Amber.
Hello.
So I'm assuming it's going to be okay for me to, like, drive up to your house, wait till all the lights are out, break into your bedroom window, crawl around the floor, and then hold you and rock you to sleep. I'm going to assume that's all right. Yes?
I'd prefer...
You'd prefer if I didn't crawl, if I just immediately picked you up and started rocking you. That's what you're going to say?
Prefer to not have my house broken into.
Okay, look. She ties a ladder to her car and drives across town. And she waits until the lights in her son's house are out. She's going through the window.
Yes.
Okay, take that as a yes. Also, if I can go back for a few pages. But at nighttime, when that teenager was asleep, The mother opened the door to his room, crawled across the floor, and looked up over the side of his bed. So I'm assuming it's also going to be okay for me to, like, come into your room and, like, 1 a.m. Well, you'll still be awake. So 4 a.m. and just pick you up and hold you and sing a song. Yes? Okay, your options are either yes or super yes. Those are your two options. If all the lights in her son's house were out, she opened his bedroom window. And if it was locked, it's okay. She also brings a brick so she can... She opened his bedroom window, crawled across the floor, which is weird because the bed's right next to the window, so I'm assuming that what the grandma does is she climbs up to the second story of her son's house, breaks the window open, and then does like a Captain America parkour flip over the bed to the floor, and then I guess just crawls around the floor in a circle for a couple of hours just to familiarize herself with the house, the layout. I'm not sure. I'm not sure why she crawls across the floor if the bed is right next to the window. That doesn't make sense. Seems like some sort of a mistake, but what do I know? I'm not Canadian. And looked up over the side of his bed. Guess what, 30-year-old son? It's Mama! If that great big man was really asleep, and it actually says that, if that great big man was really asleep, I'm assuming that he's like on The Big Show then. I'm assuming that he's Andre the Giant sized, he's 7'1", he's 650 pounds. He's the eighth wonder of the world. If that great big man was really asleep, she picked him up. Because again, it's totally fine for like a 60-year-old woman to pick up a great big man. Because again, remember, she was bitten by a radioactive spider. The only possible solution. So she can easily pick up like a 35-year-old man. She picked him up and rocked him back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. Oh, hit his head on the wall. I'm sure he's fine. He's a heavy sleeper. Back and forth, back and forth. And while she rocked him, she sang this song. I'll love you forever, I'll like you for always, as long as I'm living, my baby, you'll be. At this point, maybe she thinks her child is too much of a baby. It's a 35-year-old man we're talking about, and she's breaking into his house at night to hold him. Clingy much, Mom? Back off. Talk to the hand. Talk to the Canadian hand, because the Canadian face just don't understand. Well, that mother, she got older. She got older and older and older. This book is magical, and let me explain why. This book has the magical power to make moms cry. I worked at a bookstore for almost 20 years, and this is what happened. People would come up and they'd say, hi, do you have that book? First off, they never knew the name of the book. People never knew the name of the book, so they would always say, do you have that book where the mom sings to the son, and then the son sings to the mom? Or maybe they'd get, do you have that song, I Will Love You? Do you have that book, do you have that book, I Will Love You all the time? So then I would say, yeah, I know what book you're looking for. Let me take you over to the book. And then they'd get the book and they go, oh, okay, thank you. I'm just gonna read this. Thank you, sir. And then they'd do this. It reminds me of my Caleb. So, it's a magical book. It makes people cry. I have no idea why, because it's the weirdest book in the world. Well, that mother, she got older. She got older and older and older. One day she called up her son and said, hello, yes, I would like 2 large cheese pizzas. Could I get that stuffed crust? Oh, wait, it's you, son. Oh, I totally meant to call you. You better come and see me, because I'm very old and very sick. So her son came to see her, but not until he finished washing those mushrooms in the sink. Also, I guess R.I.P. football cat. So her son came to see her. When he came in the door, she tried to sing the song. She sang, "I'll love you forever. I'll like you for always." Ah, my back. But she couldn't finish because she was too old and too sick. So the son went. Oh, my nose is killing me. So the son went to his mother. He picked her up and rocked her back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. This is a common occurrence in Canada. Rocking your grandma. I heard Grandma wants to rock! He picked her up and rocked her back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. And while he did it, he sang this song. Grown up man, sing song. I will love you forever. Taxes. I will like you for always. Music from the Eagles. As long as I'm living, golf. My mommy you'll be. Taxes. When the son came home that night, he stood for a long time at the top of the stairs, 'cause someone put glue on them. I wonder why I'm stuck on the top of these stairs, he wondered. Meow, 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 it wasn't me, said the suspicious cat. But why didn't you tell me you had another cat? This is my favorite part. Then he went into the room where his very new baby daughter was sleeping, and he went into the room and, ah! What is this very new baby daughter doing here? I've never seen this before. Wow, this is very new. He picked her up in his arms and very slowly rocked her back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. And while he rocked him, he sang this song. I'll love you forever. I bought my sweater at a JCPenney. It was on clearance. I'll like you for always. What do you think of my hair? I'm wearing 9 pounds of hair gel. As long as I'm living, which should be for another 45 minutes, my baby you will be. Taxes. And that's the end of that weird story. Yay! I hate that story. I hate that story so much. It's weird. It's weird. I don't know why everybody loves it. Once again, we want to say a special thank you to our patrons on Patreon. I don't know what to say. I'll edit this part. Your support means so much to Storytime and to Mr. Steve. So we want to say thank you to you guys. I hope you enjoyed the story. And, yeah, we will see you next time.